I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we are taking a closer look at Batman the Drowned issue number 1, yet another tie-in to the ongoing Dark Knight's Metal event. What made this multiversal Batwoman turn to the dark side? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, we check on in with the Drowned, who is just now coming out of the ocean in Amnesty Bay, home of Aquaman and Mera. This nasty lady talks about how much she hates the bright, stinging lights of the surface world and much prefers the deep, crushing darkness of the ocean. This is why the Drowned decides to, well, flood Amnesty Bay and drown everyone in the surrounding area. Mera and Aquaman stop to fight her, and wouldn't you know it, coming face to face with some of Earth's defenders causes this woman, who we find out's name is actually Bryce Wayne, to have a flashback. It would seem that on her Earth, Bryce was a hero much like our own Bruce Wayne. She fought the good fight, but things went terribly wrong when her lover, Sylvester Kyle, the gender-swapped Catwoman equivalent of that world, was killed by a metahuman. In her rage, Batwoman led a massive campaign against metahumans, hunting and killing them wherever she saw fit. The only holdouts to this plan were the Atlanteans, led by their queen, the Aquawoman. They had managed to stay away from Batwoman's wrath by hanging out in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean. The two forces eventually clashed, and Batwoman killed Aquawoman. Now, you would think this would be the end of the conflict, right? Only you would be wrong. You see, the Atlanteans fired back and in retaliation flooded more or less the entire planet. Bryce Wayne would not be deterred, though. She instead decided to use her advanced technology to splice her own DNA with fish parts. This not only allowed her to breathe underwater and continue her battle against the Atlanteans, but it also made her faster, stronger, with regenerative abilities. And hey, seeing as she's monkeying around with biology anyway, she might as well grow herself a slave army to fight against the Atlanteans too, and so she does. She gives birth to a group of monsters called Deadwater, which are actually not unlike the Deadwater creatures Aquaman had been fighting in his own title. How about that? Now, after much more warring, the Drowned ended up being victorious. Of course, the only downside was everyone else was dead. But she wasn't all that lonely for long, because much like the other Dark Knights, she was met by the Batman Who Laughs, who promised much glory and much more to capture on another Earth. Why, in fact, it's the Batman Who Laughs who gives the Drowned her name in the first place. Now, with that flashback out of the way, we return to the fight between the Drowned and Aquaman. It does not go our hero's way. Mera ends up getting corrupted by the Dark Water, and the only reason Aquaman isn't killed is because he's whisked away by Dr. Fate at the last moment, which is why he showed up in Dark Knight's Metal number 3. And so that was Batman the Drowned, everybody, and overall, while I still found it to be enjoyable, this one's probably the least creative of the Dark Knight's origin stories yet. It's also the first one that really kinda changes with the perspective. This was an actual real flashback we were seeing, where for all the other books we were actually kinda there in the moment. We never really got to see the Drowned talk or interact with anyone in her own world, which is kind of unfortunate. I would have liked to have heard what sort of voice she had outside her evil, twisted form. I suppose it is kind of interesting to have a Batman go nuts because they lost someone they loved, especially at a time when Batman is supposedly getting married in his own main book. But honestly, I felt Murder Machine did the whole loss of a loved one storyline better. At least we know Alfred, we can relate to Batman's pain. I never knew Sylvester Kyle. Maybe he was a dick. I suppose this will kind of be a problem moving forward as we continue to do these Dark Knights tie-ins. They're gonna eventually start repeating some points, I can only imagine. In summation though, not bad, but there has been better. I would give this one a 7 out of 10. So that's Batman the Drowned, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, why not check out some of these other videos I've been working on. Then you can follow me on social media at Cape Joel, so you always know what's coming out next from the channel. Hey, feeling in a supportive mood? If so, then why not head on down to the description of this very video, where you'll find a link on over to my Patreon page. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and they can do so for as little as $1 a month. You get a little something, I get a little something, everybody wins. And until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.